Hi everyone, welcome to the third webinar of the We Are Undefeatable in Hertfordshire online conference. I'm just going to share my screen. So we're really happy today to have Kelly Harmon, the Strategic Program Manager for Physical Activity, with us from versus Arthritis. She's going to be talking to us about getting active, getting physically active with arthritis. Oh, I've got a Zoom pop up telling me something. So before I hand over to Kelly, I'm just going to run through a quick bit of webinar housekeeping. For anyone that's been with us for our first two webinars, you can switch off for the next couple of minutes because this is exactly the same still, but we've got people that are joining us now. So a bit of housekeeping. We suggest selecting speaker view for your best viewing experience. You can do this at the top right of your page by clicking the view button. There's a little image on your screen at the moment that should show you how to do that at the top right. All participants are completely safe with us today. You'll remain muted and your cameras are off throughout the webinar. However, we would welcome comments and networking through the chat function. So please do introduce yourselves on there and let us know about anything that you're up to or any roles that you're playing or services that you know of in the community that would be relevant to other people watching the webinar today. However, before you send, do make sure that you've selected everyone. Otherwise, it will only come to us as presenters, and we want to make sure that everyone can see what you're writing. If you do have any questions for Kelly or anyone else within the HSP team that's with us today, please pop them into the Q&A function just to make sure that we can see them and they don't get lost in the chat. We will attempt to answer all questions live, but if we run out of time, we'll make sure we get back in touch with you directly and respond after the event. All of our webinars are being recorded, so not just this one, but all of the webinars throughout the day, and you'll be able to catch up with those on the sportinhearts.org.uk/LTCH webpage, which is where we're hosting everything for We Are Undefeatable in Hertfordshire going forward. And finally, please do fill in the pop-up feedback survey when you leave. If you're coming and going throughout the day, you can fill that in multiple times based on the webinars that you've just been watching. But it's really valuable for us to firstly hear about what you thought of the webinars and the content, but almost more importantly, to get your ideas about what should be taking place within We're Undefeatable in Hertfordshire as we go forward, because we want to make sure that it's fit for purpose and doing everything that we want it to do. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to hand over to Kelly Harmon, who, as I said, is Strategic Program Manager for Physical Activity at versus Arthritis. Kelly.
Thanks, Will. Can I check you see my slides?
Spot on, perfect.
Great, thank you. Morning, everyone. Thanks so much to Will and the team for inviting me along to speak today. My name is Kelly Harmon, and I'm the Strategic Program Manager for Physical Activity at versus Arthritis. I've been with the organisation now for almost 11 months, and I come from a background of working for an active partnership in Essex. So I know how active partnerships work. I was there for 12 years and have a really good insight into their operations and the fantastic work that they do. And I know Will and the team are doing some great work as well in Hertfordshire. So just a little bit of background about who we are as an organisation versus Arthritis. And actually, as an organisation, we've been up and running now for about 5 years. And this was on the back of two arthritis charities, one that very much focused on services and the other one very much focused on research, merged together to form versus Arthritis. And last year in March, we had a new chief exec start, Deborah, and earlier this year in 2023, we've launched a new strategy, which is really, really exciting for us as an organisation to give us some really clear direction on how we're going to continue to support people with arthritis. And our vision is quite simple. We want a future free from arthritis. And our mission is that we won't rest until everyone with arthritis has access to treatments and support they need to live the life they choose, with real hope of a cure in the future. To deliver our mission, we invest in world-class research, deliver high-quality services, and campaign on the issues that matter most to the people with arthritis. So we're really, really clear about what our objectives are now, which is fantastic. And we will continue to deliver some great work to those who most need it going forwards. As a team, and actually I'm really fortunate at Versus Arthritis because I do have a team of colleagues that sit around me within the physical activity team. And we are very, very fortunate because we've got some external funding from Sport England to help us to deliver a programme called Let's Move. And the programme itself has been up and running since 2020. So we're very much at implementation stage, delivery stage of our project. And our vision for Let's Move is that we want people with arthritis to enjoy better health and well-being because they are active. Everything that we do is underpinned by behaviour change, and you can see the behaviour change wheel on your slide in front of you, which is talks about the COM-B model. So we very much look at someone's opportunity, their motivation, and their capability in order to try and help change behaviours as well. And then we've got 4 core aims that we're looking at as well as part of our project. The core physical activity content, resources, and unified messaging. So if you've seen some of our stuff, you will know that predominantly most of our Let's Move content is digital. And then the pink box, we're looking at core physical activity offer for consistency across our services aligned to our ambitions. And in the purple box, influencing and enabling health care, public health and physical activity professionals. And the blue box, work in collaboration to influence physical activity provision. So lots and lots of work taking place behind the scenes, but very much also in partnership and collaboration with our external partners and stakeholders as well. So as I said, the Let's Move project started back in, actually it was back when we first received some initial funding from Sport England, which was very much to give us the ability to do some insight work with those people with arthritis and to try to understand how physical activity could really help to support them and their conditions. And some of the insight that we found back in 2019 was that just 29% of people surveyed met the Sport England definition of active, while 7 in 10 would like to be more active. Over half say they would find it difficult to become more active due to chronic pain. Weight management and improved mood are viewed as the key benefits of physical activity. Healthcare professionals are an important influence, and we really, really know that they do play such a key role in helping to change someone's behaviour, but also, you know, they are they're that trusted source that we know people really, really do go to and can help influence. However, some people are advised that physical activity would make their condition worse. And we do know that unfortunately there still are some healthcare professionals that are advising rest is best, which in most cases, actually, we would prefer healthcare professionals not to be given that advice, and just to advising people to move when they can and in a way that's good for them. The majority of people with arthritis prefer to get active on their own and prefer home-based activities. So we know that they're typically not using community-based settings for physical activity. Most people are interested in internet-based support, but there is interest in face-to-face activities. Those who are active are doing light activity such as walking or swimming, and this is predominantly because of their condition and the chronic pain that many of them do suffer. And less than 1 in 5 take part in classes or organised physical activity or classes. So this research really gave us a good basis to look at scoping and delivering and implementing our Let's Move project. We've also done a lot of work on the barriers and motivators to someone being active as well. So we know that people often have competing narratives about the role and the benefits of exercise for people with arthritis. Lovely little quote in the red box. in my arthritis journey, no healthcare professional has ever spoken to me about exercise or given me advice. So we do a lot of work with our healthcare professionals to upskill them, to give them the confidence, and to make them competent in how they can have conversations about physical activity with their patient. I won't play this video now because it is almost 5 minutes long, but please do go and have a look. There's a little link at the bottom, a Vimeo link, which just gives you a little bit more insight into the barriers and motivators that we found amongst our audience, so those people with arthritis. So why is exercise important? And I'm sure you're probably going to hear this quite a lot today in terms of long-term health conditions, but for the reasons of those people with arthritis, we know that it can reduce pain. However, we also know that there is, people with arthritis, unfortunately, they are going to be potentially suffering with chronic pain. And so there is that, we need to try and get them through that barrier of feeling pain out of the other side when actually they start to see reduction in their pain that they're feeling. But it's taking them through that journey, which is often quite a barrier and a struggle for people as well. And that's where, relationships with coaches, healthcare professionals is really, really important to educate people that yes, you are going to feel some pain, but actually if you continue your physical activity, you will start to see reduction in pain. But we also know that it improves strength, reduces stiffness, it can help balance, improves energy levels, weight management, and also boost mood. And that will be for multiple long-term health conditions. We know that exercise, physical activity is a real key benefit there. Some of the barriers that we've found, though, to people not being physically active or participating in exercise is that pain is a big problem. And actually, those people with an arthritis condition, their conditions are often quite unpredictable. So one day they may wake up and they're feeling okay, they're able to get out of bed and they're able to manage their condition in a way that they're able to. And then the following day, they may wake up and feel, in extreme pain, chronic pain, really not able to get out of bed, not able to move. And this is where their condition is very unpredictable. They're not necessarily knowing how they're going to feel from day to day, which then becomes quite difficult when we're trying to work with them to help form some sort of routine, some sort of habit in terms of physical activity, because they just don't know how they're going to feel potentially on a day-to-day basis. We also know that there is a real kind of lack of energy amongst our audience, and they're worried about making their condition worse. So, and this very much kind of relates to the pain element and actually that fear of making the condition worse, far more than it is already. Other barriers that we find consistently across sort of long-term health conditions is time, motivation, confidence, and then access to facilities as well. But there are motivators as well to being physically active, and one third of people seeing improvements in their condition as a benefit in terms of taking part in physical activity. But it's not the main motivator that we find amongst our audience. Those main motivators are weight management and improved mood and mental well-being. So that's something that we really trying to work on as an organisation to look at how we can best support certainly weight management and mood and mental well-being as well. Other motivating benefits that we found as well: increased energy levels, improved sleep, building resilience, self-esteem and confidence. So as I said at the start, we really try to look at how we can support someone's behaviour change in terms of physical activity. So we look at the COMB model, which is capability, opportunity and motivation model. In all of the work that we do, we look at goal setting, we look at dreams and aspirations. So really trying to get someone to look just a little bit further ahead of them and potentially where would they like to be maybe 6 weeks or 12 weeks time, and then trying to give them the support to get to where they want to be in that 6 or 12 weeks time. Our services do a lot of work on self-reflection, and they also incorporate a lot of mindfulness sessions as well. There's group discussions we found really, really helpful, peer support, so really talking to people or listening to people who are either in the same situation or have been in the same situation has really, really helped. And we do a lot of work around education and knowledge, so we really try to help people to educate them on the condition itself that they have, but also why physical activity is important. And that's where the research element of what we do as an organisation is really critical, because actually we fund a lot of research projects which are coming back with some fantastic results, and we're really keen to give that education to our supporters and audience as well, so they fully understand the condition that they may have, and actually what might help that condition as well. So just moving on to some of the different forms of physical activity that we've really seen are of benefit to particularly our audience. And strengthening exercises are, really, really important in terms of helping to build muscle mass, but also bone density as well. We know that it can help stabilize joints and can help reduce pain as well. We know that muscles change, and they can change very quickly as well, which is why this form of exercise is really quite a key part of trying to help people be active in a way that's good for them. But we also, when we're looking at strengthening activity, we're trying to educate people on the different forms of daily activities that they can do to incorporate some form of strengthening activity. So, for example, carrying shopping bags or standing up from a chair. And I think that's where the education part is really, really important. It's, we're not necessarily looking or asking someone to go to a weightlifting class or to be lifting heavy weights, because that's probably not appropriate for them. But actually, if they can incorporate some form of strengthening activity into their everyday lives, then they're really going to start to see a benefit. And they may need to avoid strengthening if joints are hot or swollen. And that's very much down to the individual listening to their own bodies and knowing what they're capable of doing or not capable of doing as well. Balance and weight bearing exercises, again, really, really important for our audience, because we know that it can help to reduce the risk of falls. Specific balance exercises can be given, but there are, generic exercises out there like yoga, tai chi, playing bowls are all forms of balance activity as well. We do try to encourage, where possible, to do some weight-bearing activities to help strengthen the bones. And this is particularly important for osteoporosis and frailty risk as well. Just moving on to the fitness element as well. So we know that fitness stroke cardiovascular fitness can help to with many symptoms that our audience do find in terms of improving sleep, boosting mood, increased energy, and that independence as well. And it can also help to improve their heart and lung capacity, which is relevant for multiple long-term health conditions, not just for arthritis as well. From a stretching point of view, we know that those people with arthritis do suffer with sometimes limited flexibility and mobility because of joint problems. So we do try to encourage people to incorporate some form of stretching into their daily routines. And again, this can be from anything from doing tai chi or yoga activities, or just gentle stretching while they're at home, whilst they're waiting for the kettle to boil, really trying to incorporate it at any times of the day that they're doing as well. So let's move on and talk to you a little bit about Let's Move and our Let's Move content. So back after we'd done our initial insight in 2019, unfortunately in 2020, we had the COVID-19 pandemic, but actually that really positioned us, we're in a good position in lots of ways, for launching Let's Move with Leon, which is our 12-week digital program, which takes a person through 12 different exercise videos, ranging from cardiovascular to different fitness to strengthening to balance activities. There is a real range of video exercises that people are able to follow along to. And the series itself was co-produced by Leon Wormley, who is our exercise professional, and his lovely mum Janet also features in the videos as well, and Janet herself has arthritis. So we worked on Let's Move with Leon in 2020, and we launched that, and we found it was so well received by our audience. I mean, obviously because of the pandemic, there were many of our audience were isolating at home, and actually this gave them a means to being physically active in their home environments, which actually then, if we relate it back to the insight that we've gathered, really was, we've launched a resource which people wanted because they'd already told us that they wanted to be active in their own homes. They wanted to do something independently. I think being active in their own homes, they found that it was a safe space to be active within. I think some of our audience find community settings quite daunting, whereas, you know, in their own homes, they could pick something up and they could do it when they wanted to do it as well. So alongside the 12 weeks of video exercises, we also launched a newsletter, which is called Let's Move. And that newsletter now goes out on a bi-weekly basis to our audience, of which we've got just over 50,000 people now receiving the newsletter, which is great. It's all based on behaviour change. We share lots of blogs, videos, news articles on arthritis, the condition itself. We share some case studies as well to really inspire people to look at how they can incorporate physical activity into their own daily lives. So I think there's some links at the end of my slides, but if you're not signed up to our Let's Move newsletter, or if you know someone that might be interested, then please do sign up. It's all free, and you will receive a bi-weekly newsletter into your inbox as well. So Let's Move with Leon has been independently evaluated as well by our evaluation partner, London Metropolitan University. And the findings that we found from this random control trial is that Let's Move with Leon does improve physical activity over 13 weeks of monitoring this outcome. We know that it also improves strength over 8 weeks. It improves perceived physical capability over 4 and 8 weeks. And also it improves automatic motivation over 4 and 8 weeks. And actually that last one is really, really, I think, really key, and actually the one I'm kind of really looking at most, because what that's telling us is that someone isn't necessarily thinking too much about being physically active. They're just doing it. They're incorporating it into their everyday lives, which is really, you know, what we're looking to do. So that automatic motivation is really, really key. Alongside Let's Move with Leon, in 2021, again, from doing some insight work with our audience, who said, we love Let's Move with Leon, but actually we would really love a lower impact form of physical activity. We launched our stretching series, and our stretching series is again, digital content. So it's all available online on our website or on YouTube. And it's a series of 10 different videos whereby you can follow along to them. They range between anything between 15 minutes and about 25 minutes. And you can pick it up at any time of day that you want and have a go at those stretching videos. As part of this as well, we've also got a full body stretching routine for the morning, the daytime and evening. And we have found these videos have gone down really, really well, because people have just been able to incorporate it when they want to. So if technology allows me to, I'm just going to share with you a short trailer of the stretching series as well. So in that video, you would have seen Jay, who is a physiotherapist, and the content itself was also filmed with people with lived experience. So we really wanted to make sure that those people with arthritis feature in these videos. There's some lovely stories that have come back on how they're keeping incorporating physical activity into their everyday lives as well. Some of the further content that we have as well as part of our programme, we've been, for the last 11 months, we've been organising some monthly challenge as part of our Let's Move programme. And these have been in collaboration with Leon, who features as Let's Move with Leon, and his mum. So if you receive our weekly newsletter once a month in your inbox, you will have a new challenge that comes in. And we found these have been great just to keep people on track and to give them something new to try throughout the month as well. We've also done some podcasts, and we'll be doing to really reach a wider audience. We've got a Facebook group as well, Let's Move Facebook group, which has over 9,500 people now part of that Facebook group. Very much peer-to-peer support. We are moderators of it, but actually we really encourage people to post content and to give that advice and support to others who really, really need it. It's solely focused on physical activity. And we do sometimes get some posts come in around advice on medication and prescriptions. And actually that's not the purpose of the group. The purpose of the group is to support people to be more physically active. So we do sometimes have to, unfortunately, decline those posts. But the posts that come in receive some, some real support. So again, it's a lovely supportive network, and not just for the UK, but we've got people across the world that are part of this network as well, which is fantastic, and it's growing as we speak as well. We've got lots of infographics. And we've got lots of animations, which again are all available on the Versus Arthritis YouTube channel for people to go and have a look at, to download, and to watch free when they want to be able to. In January this year, we launched our Let's Move for Surgery content, and this was on the back of, unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has really exacerbated waiting times, and particularly waiting times for those individuals who are waiting joint replacement surgery. And we've been receiving a lot of feedback, a lot of comments coming into our Facebook group around how can I, what support is out there for me? I'm waiting joint replacement surgery. I don't know how long I'm going to be waiting for. What can I do to help me during this, real difficult time? And then in the other respect, people had undergone joint replacement surgery and said, I'm at this point in life where I know I need to be physically active because I've had joint replacement surgery, and what support is there for me to help with recovery of that as well. So for the past year or so, my team have been working really, really closely with a focus group, which has involved people with lived experience and healthcare professionals, to develop and co-produce our Let's Move to Surgery content. And I'm so proud of the team. It's an absolutely fantastic resource that we launched in January this year. And just to give you a bit of an overview of the content, I should just share another taster video for you, which you'll see Millie just here on the left as our physiotherapist, and on the right hand side is one of our is Lynn, who's got lived experience as well. So what does Let's Move to Surgery consist of then? So there are 5 different exercise films. They all range between 10 and 15 minutes. We've got 3 specific videos, one for hip replacement, one for shoulder replacement, and then one for knee replacement. There is also a cardio workout, and there is a full body strengthening around the home as well. Lovely videos, great to have people with lived experience part of them, sharing that resource and sharing their knowledge as well. And also Millie, as our physiotherapist, guiding them through those exercise routines as well. So do go and have a look at those exercise films. As part of this series as well, though, we have some personal stories. So we've got Keir, Lynn, and Leonie and Sue and Keith, all sharing their personal experiences of whilst they were waiting for surgery, why they found physical activity and movement. Actually, that's the really key thing as well. We've really looked at the language that we use for this series as well, and we're using movement a lot more. We think it's a softer word to be using, and actually a nicer word to be using rather than physical activity and exercise. So using movement as that term. Before surgery, why it's important, after surgery, how to keep active whilst waiting for surgery. And then we didn't want to waste the resources that we've got already with Let's Move with Leon. So there is a lovely video which talks and takes someone through how to use Let's Move with Leon whilst they're waiting for surgery as well. So yeah, if you've got a chance, do go on and have a listen to the personal stories, because there's some lovely quotes and lovely things that are said from these individuals. As part of the series as well, and all of the work that we do around behaviour change, we've created an animation which is 2 minutes long, and it talks to someone about why it's important to keep joints mobile before and after surgery. So it's a lovely animation that's there for people to watch. And these are just some of our participants that have been part of the Let's Move Surgery content. And there is a lady in the middle, Leonie, who is also a We Are Undefeatable case study. Leonie's had a double knee replacement and shares her story on before and after surgery. For all the women on the call, she talks about high heels and how she wasn't able to wear high heels before surgery, but actually once she'd recovered and once she was a little bit more active, she goes into her wardrobe and she takes out a pair of high heels and she's able to put them on again, which is just, you know, what amazing way to boost her mood and just to feel good in herself as well. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic to work with these guys. And this is Millie, who is our physiotherapist, who's been an integral part of the content development and filming the content as well. We really wanted to work with a healthcare professional who is supporting those individuals whilst they're waiting and recovering from joint replacement surgery. So Millie does work for the NHS. She's a Band 7 MSK physiotherapist working at University College London. She also does some private practice as well, and has some, you know, fantastic knowledge around behaviour change, health coaching, which is incorporated into the videos as well. So here are some links, and you'll get these hopefully with the slides that will be sent around by Will and the team after today as well. But there is our Let's Move newsletter sign up, which I said, is free to access. Do go and sign up. You'll receive bi-weekly newsletters into your inbox. All of our video content is available on YouTube, but also can be found on our website as well. So there's the Let's Move with Leon, surgery, Let's Move for Surgery, the stretching series, all of the challenges are on there as well. And there's a link to our Let's Move Facebook group as well. So just a little bit about our audience engagement, because it's really important that we can measure numbers, which is fine and is great, but actually, as I'm always saying to my team, but what about the real impact that the work that we're doing has on our audience? So we know that our content does really well. We've got thousands and thousands of views of Let's Move with Leon and the stretching series, but the quotes that come back from people are, to me, the most valuable piece of insight that we've got. And we really encourage people to share their stories with us and to let us know how they're getting on. And so just some quotes on your screen now from those individuals. And there's just the one at the bottom, which I will read out. Oh my God, just found your video and started immediately. I'm suffering from psoriatic arthritis and haven't been active since my condition worsened. I love that this is a simple and easy to follow. Now I have a routine. Thank you. And these are just a snippet of some of the lovely quotes that we do get back from our audience, which is great. As a physical activity team, we're really trying to ensure that it's physical activity, exercise, movement is embedded into all of the work that we do across the charity, and not just within my team, within the physical activity team. So we work really, really closely with our healthcare professional team, and they run a lot of core skills training and bite-sized topics. And whenever there's an opportunity for someone in my team to join, we join, and we'll always be talking really positively about physical activity and how healthcare professionals can incorporate it into their consultations, into their conversations that they're having with patients. We're doing a lot of work internally to support our employees as well. And actually, over 50% of our employees have arthritis conditions themselves. So it's really vitally important that we support our own colleagues, our own staff and volunteers, because if we don't support them, then they're not able to give that support to those people that they're supporting as well. We've been able to embed physical activity into one of the 3 pillars of self-management that is delivered by our UK services team, which is absolutely fantastic that it's now kind of being recognised as a real key benefit. We are a national partner of Sport England Together funding, so we have received some additional funding to be able to disseminate out to community groups, not just supporting those with arthritis, but multiple long-term health conditions, which has been great. And we do hold a real strategic partnership with Sport England as well. We give regular updates to our staff and our volunteers, and all of the work that we do as a team. We've got an expert advisors group, which are really crucial to helping us support everything that we're doing and give that real advisors support and advice going forwards. So just moving on then to talk a little bit about the wider work that we do as a charity. And I just wanted to flag and to let you all know about our support services team, who have an amazing service in terms of our helpline, and the telephone number is on your screen now, along with the email address. And it's free to access. It's open between 9 AM and 6 PM, Monday to Friday. And that helpline is there to support people with arthritis. We often get a lot of phone calls or emails coming in, asking for advice about their condition, but also asking for advice and support around mental well-being, weight management as well. So our advisors are really well trained to give that appropriate support and advice. And if we're not able to give it, then we will signpost them to other organisations, often other charity organisations that may be able to help those individuals as well. So yeah, please do take a note of the helpline. It's there for people that really need that help. And that's all my slides. So thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. I'm really happy to take any questions that there may be.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Kind of really interesting again. We're getting so much information today. I think it's just been fantastic. And what's been really good throughout this whole webinar is there's been so much activity in the chat between people. I'm having to scroll back up to find where it all started. One second.
I haven't been able to keep an eye on it. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So I mean, one of the first reflections was from Peter, who presented this morning on the national We Are Undefeatable campaign around the main motivators for people living with arthritis being identical to those reported across multiple long-term conditions, which is what the We Are Undefeatable Insight has shown, which has been really interesting. And then what was really nice next up, which sparked a lot of conversation, was from Marta, who said, "Good morning, my name is Marta. I run weekly exercise classes for older adults in West Hertfordshire. And the majority of my clients struggle with arthritis, and a few of them do the Let's Move with Leon and his mum exercises every week and find them very helpful." So she wanted to thank you very much for those.
Oh, that's great.
And then that sparked all sorts of conversation of people engaging with Marta's sessions, Marta engaging with other people's sessions, social prescribers talking, our own active aging officer has been doing different bits and pieces. So you've sparked lots and lots of really interesting conversation and people engaging with different physical activity opportunities across Hertfordshire, which has been brilliant. There's more coming in now. Barbara's just said, "Thank you for all of this. A great resource. I teach 60+ fitness classes and currently in training as PSI, so it'd be great to have this for my clients going forward. Also be sending links to her mum-in-law who's suffering with dementia and pretty immobile at the moment." So no specific questions, I don't think, but lots and lots of love and lots of positive feedback for everything that you're doing. So I'm just scrolling back, just double checking. I'm really sorry if I have missed any specific questions for anyone. I don't think I have. So I think what I'll do is thank you very much.
No worries.
Yeah, like I say, really useful. We'll pop the your slides and the different links to the content that you've covered today onto our long-term health condition website for sportinghearts.org.uk/LTHC. Sorry, and then yeah, where people can get in touch if there's any specific questions and go from there.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks, Will.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kelly. And we'll see you again soon. Okay, everyone. So I make that just coming up to 10 to 12. We're looking forward now to, we've got 10 minutes. And then we'll have Getting Active with Dementia. And we've got Julie Churchhouse from the Alzheimer's Society, who's going to be talking to us about the importance of getting active with dementia. We've got Danny Buckley, who's a senior lecturer in life sciences from the University of Hertfordshire, talking to us about a project. And Adam Thapar, who's the head of community EDI and dementia services with Heartswise, talking about some of their services too. So you've got 10 minutes now, and we'll see hopefully everyone back here at 12 o'clock. Thanks very much, everyone.